So you didn't see football as your be all end all. That so you from what you're saying, you had a plan beyond football. It wasn't just NFL or bust. You had a plan.
Yeah, I mean, college coming, just starting way back in the day.
Way back in high school, because I know you're a big time down at Houston and everything like that, right? You were all area in Houston and all that kind of stuff. So was your goal when you went to Baylor, was your goal just to be, hey, I'm going to go to the league, or would you go, hey, I'm just using this as a conduit to get to a better place in life?
That's a good question. That's the first time somebody's asked me that question. I would say yes. I had aspirations of going to the league, so I was all about. I knew it was a process.
Yep.
Like I had to like put in that work first. But it wasn't the only thing I was going to do. My dad was like, like after 4 years, my dad was about alumni. Like, how big is the alumni? How effective is the alumni? So that's why he was big on UT and A&M. So I took business networks too. Yeah. He was saying, after you're done playing football, what are you going to do? Okay. And so he was more on that business side of it. So yeah, came in with that mentality. I wanted to, I wanted to start as a true freshman. I did. I wanted to, see what I can do, see if I can compete at that level. I did. So yeah, so it worked out well. But as far as like, that was not just the only objective.
Okay. So yeah, vision.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. And your dad, your father, you say father and part of that's wisdom, and you say you had a vision. He said, son, we're not just going to go to Baylor to block and tackle and everything like that. It's bigger than that, because one day, and what some people don't realize, one day that all that's going to end.
Yeah.
And when that ends, you got to have a plan. So, okay. So you found out early on that wasn't going to be everything you wanted. Well, I just wasn't going to be a ball player for very long, but I want to do something after that. So when did the birth, the idea of State Farm, when did that come?
Well, the State Farm piece got out, truth be told. So most athletes, and we kind of had some conversation around this, and most athletes, when they're coming through, even when they were young, even by high school, they were taken care of. They're catered to, which is a good thing, but truth be told, it's a bad thing. Because the world don't cater to you. The world don't care about you like that. You understand what I'm saying? So when you get through that and you get to high school and get to college, they cater more. And then if you're really, really good, they don't really actually do nothing more than just show up and show out. The problem with that is that eventually that clock strikes zero, and then it's not about that no more. They don't have, and let's be clear, they don't really have a need for you. Like most companies, and it's a business, let's be clear, college football, college basketball is a business. They don't have a need for you. So a lot of athletes, male and female, doesn't matter, volleyball, don't care what sport it is, they look up and it's time to graduate. They don't have a clue at a life they're doing next. And very little life skills. Mm-hmm. Very little. So, just the fact that I got to that point, and I'm glad my dad knew some people, and I'm glad that I did what I needed to do, at school, and I grabbed some skill sets while I was at Baylor, naturally. My dad had a VP over at Countrywide, Paul Looms. Oh. And I reached out to him. He knew about this really nice program that Countrywide had. It would take 20 people across the United States, bring them in, blah, blah, blah. And I interviewed for that. And he had like 2 positions left. So I was like, I'm all in. I'll never forget, my auntie was like, hey, we're going to practice interviews. So, if you're an animal, what animal in the jungle would you be? And I was like, well, lion, and I'm praying. The lady asked that question on the interview. So that planning and preparation helped. And I got off the interview and I was like, because think about it, it's April. I graduated in May. There ain't no scholarships, and there's no more money, nothing like that. So I was trying to get out in the workforce. And I interviewed very well. She called me 2 days later. She said, I offered you the position. My heart was jumping. And I was like, thank you, I appreciate it. She said, no, that was the best interview I've had. What was the position? It was it's Countrywide had where they'll bring 20 college students in, and they're going to train you up to become branch managers. So it's an accelerated program. So what you do is you'll be in that program for 18 months, but they will fly you to different places. So he went to talk about Oakland. I was in Oakland. I was in San Francisco for like 2 months. They pay all out expense paid. I was in Chicago for 3 months. I was in, they even had a London program. Well, you can go over there. So you had all these different places I can go and work and get that real life experience. So, and then when you were done, they place you. Okay. Well, then I got placed down in Houston with Kathy Gibbs, who's a mentor. That was a #2 agency, #2 branch in Texas. She was killing it. Got with her. She was like, I always want to be with the #1, want to be the best. Okay. So I went to her. She was #2. And she told me a lot. The one thing that I never forget, she said, Michael, when it all boils down, it always boils down to money. I thought about it. She said, even nonprofits are about profit. I thought about it. She said, remember that. Take that with you throughout the journey. She said, follow that crumbs and you're going to get to the money. And she said, so just remember that when decisions are being made, business, personal sometimes. Anyway, I said, I respect her tremendously. We're still friends to this day. And then once I left that, I came to Plano. So I got back up into Dallas with Jeff Prince. He was the #1 office in Texas, thousands of offices. And that's why, and they're critical to my success and growth. And they gave me a lot. It's why I give a lot back. Yeah.
How much of what you were able to do in their business and what was driving you, how much of that did you learn in the locker room or on the way from being a ball player? Because I know I wasn't on the level you were, but there's still some things that I learned playing on the field and some tough stuff in the trenches. Don't pump out, stuff like that. How much of that did you transition into your real life, into your business? Okay, some of the lessons you learned in the huddle.
It's a great question. I always tell my sons, finish what you start. There you go. You know what I'm saying? Be on time. Let me be on time. Like, have a plan, have a purpose to what you do. Don't be reactive. Let's truly be proactive in what we do, how we think. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So the football piece that I feel like, me coming in as a freshman, I knew what I had to do is I had to know the plays. How can I execute when I don't know the plays? And that means I have to study. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? I have to prepare. I have to practice hard, in order for them to see that they can rely on me. You see, so no matter how much skill set I got, no matter how good or great I could be or was, I still needed to show up and show out. And then the other thing is, one thing I started learning early is just handle your responsibility. Granted, even running this business, there's a responsibility that I have. There's top 2, top 3 things. Those are things that I've extracted from football and brought into the business world. Handle your job. If you're the left tackle, handle the blind side. Yeah. I can't worry about the right tackle if he gave up 4 sacks in the first half. It's the second half. That's it. I just got to worry about what I'm doing on this side, and that might be the difference maker of us winning or having an opportunity to win. So handle your damn job. Mm-hmm. Handle your responsibilities. And then from there, I think a lot of the practice to play. Mm-hmm. So what I mean when I say that, like, I know we do all that for a game on Saturday at, noon, but there's so much that leads into that. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that we do, that I study. It's constantly trying to educate myself, educate my team, so forth, educate my clients. That's important, man. And I think I've extracted that from football big time. Then the last thing I would say is resilience. There's injuries are going to happen. It's 100% guarantee. It's not a question of if, it's just when. The resilience, how do I respond to that? But life going to throw you, it's going to throw you a whole lot of stuff. How do you respond?
You can cuss on it.
Oh, I was about to cuss, but I don't want to give it up.
It's different because
but that, just resilience.
Okay. So you came and this is from Chicago, right? That's Chicago's home. What brought you to Texas?
My dad was in Katy. My dad's Katy. So I got down to Katy. I was with my grandmother, stayed with my grandmother. Typical normal story. Kind of, that's what, you can make it. I made it out. I look at every one of these cameras. I made it out. You can make it out. Do we have all of that turmoil and drugs and everything? Of course we did. Of course we did. Everybody. But everybody does. I got down to my dad because I went to visit my dad. And he was like, son, I have a whole year. He's like, it's time for you to come stay with me and we can finish out this career, high school career and stuff like that. So it was a great opportunity. It was the best move I ever made.
So it was time for you to be under his leadership.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, no doubt, because what I learned, and let's be clear, my dad he did stuff together at the same time. It wasn't like he was down there chilling. He was getting himself together and he reached back out and we started building that rapport and stuff like that. The normal story, but I gave him an opportunity. he gave me an opportunity to kind of talk through what happened, what did, what didn't. And that worked out very well. Now we're the best of friends. You know, me and my dad talk all the time, you know, and so that being said, it allowed me to get to him, to work with my dad. And that got me to Katy, to Texas.
So were you a football player at Chicago as well?
Yeah, I was. You know, it's crazy, though. But, you know, it's crazy. I tell people all the time, Texas is different.
That's where I was going. Because in Chicago, because I was trying to be, okay, so when you got to Texas, it's like, oh, damn, this is a whole lot different than what we was doing up there in Chicago.
A couple of things. So, you know, my son's coming up. These kids are huge. So, me, I was a big kid. I was a big, heavy kid back when I was younger, but they wanted me to play like 4 levels up because Chicago's off weight.
Okay.
So if I'm like, nah, they will be 12-year-olds. I'm like, I'm playing with the 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
You know, but I weigh too much. Texas, you with the 9-year-old. They don't care.
Yeah, so
I never played. I never played until high school. I'm talking about organized football. Never played. I wrestled. Took state wrestling. Took third state Illinois wrestling. I wrestled because why? Didn't matter weight limits. They had a weight limit. I can get in here. So I would play basketball with my old boys, and that kept me going a lot because that was what I could do. Mm-hmm. Anyway, all that being said, you know, when I got to Katy, Texas, man, I'll never forget. I'm like, man, the stadiums, the weight room.
Yeah, it's different.
I'll never forget. We played Jersey Village. I went to Katy Taylor. We played Jersey Village, man. It was this guy off the staff, about 6'7", about 350. I was like, yeah, this dude is huge. And, you know, and all I said, hey, I better stay low and I better give him a little leverage. Got him with leverage, whooping. But he was shooting, went to Oklahoma State. And you know, Texas grows them bigger, man. This is a football. Don't ever get it twisted. No, this is foot. They'll try basketball, they AAU all they want. This is a football.
Trust me, I know. So the Big Mike moniker, where'd that come from? Were you always Big Mike in Chicago? Or when you got to Texas, were you Big Mike? Because everything's bigger in Texas. So when I saw the Big Mike, how did that work out? Because that's where we want to go with this. Big.
So it didn't get it from Chicago. Okay. They used to, that's a whole nother story. But they used to call me Kitchen. You know, everybody in the hood got a little name. And the Kitchen was it. And I'm like, you know, and it took this one guy in the neighborhood. And everybody started calling me Kitchen. And everybody's like, why you calling Kitchen? Every time I go by the house, he in the kitchen. So, you know, when I went back home for the little block party one of the neighbors passed, we had a block party. Everyone, get. It's just what it is. That's, you know how that's just your hood. You know, that's the coaching. Anyway, but the Big Mike, actually the Big Mike thing, they call it Big Mike throughout college and stuff like that. But actually, my friend who was a client, Barry Drix, good guy, they're always sitting down trying to figure out like this whole Big Mike insurance, Big Mike, what big? He's like, nah. He's like, Michael Johnson. He's like, nah, Mike, don't do that. He said, you need something that's catchy. He's like, go with Big Mike. He said, everybody knows a Big Mike. Yeah. I was like, he said, everybody. He said, everybody knows a Big Mike. So I went to Big Mike Insurance. He said, simple. He said, everybody know how to spell it. I said, just true. And be true to yourself. Yeah. So that was that. He kind of took the whole big COVID, big savings thing, and it kind of came together and kept working with it. But let me be clear. You know, I still be Big Mike, but I get the weight off. That's mission number one. then that 350, 360, that ain't good as you get old. Like I said, you don't see no 40, 350 pounds, 80-year-olds. That ain't happening. I'm not trying to let it. You need about 72, 74, and they can go and call me up. You know, so, but anyway.
But yeah, okay, but you're always going to be Big Mike in some sense of the word. Okay, absolutely. So let's go back for a minute to where you transition. Okay, so you decided, you told me off camera that you wanted to, at least want to watch 5 o'clock news. Okay, about tell me about the process, because there's so many cats who, when they come, your stature, not just your height and your weight and everything like that, you're coming in All-American high school and all, I'm sure you have to pick up where you want to go play ball. Okay, LSU, everybody was chasing that. Okay, that's cool. Okay, but when did you come to a realization that, hey, you know what, this is cool, but you know, there's more to life than all of this. Now I got to start. When did you start the wheels of returning to where you want to, okay, I want to do something outside of this? Because what happens, a lot of cats, they come from the hood and they're great. They get a torn patella or ripped Achilles. They come back home, mom, I know a few of them that's still at home with mom. This is 30 years later. So, okay, so where was because it's cool. It's a cool story. That's why I'm happy to Georgia. Where was your story where you said, okay, man, you know what, this subtle thing ain't everything. I need to figure out where I'm going to go with life.
So, I mentioned I started as a true freshman and really kept growing. I had some injuries, second degree, sprain, MCL, stuff like that.
But you were tracking in a different.
But I was tracking up. Yeah, I was tracking up. I was in great shape. I think my senior year, I tell you, change, and it's inevitable. But we had our old coach Reedy, Chuck Reedy, who recruited me. They had fired him. And they had brought in a new coach, Dave Roberts from Notre Dame. He was the OC or whatever. And, he came in and he's different. He wanted to do things different. And unfortunately, sometimes when that change comes about, it's hard to reset in that moment. He didn't see my value, even though I had all the accolades and stuff like that. He didn't, because I don't think he really cared about the seniors. He cared about the future. There it is. Like most companies see new CEOs, et cetera. Let's be clear. So I think I kind of in the beginning, I kind of was, so I kind of lost a little bit. Then I kept going. I had a couple of injuries, so got back into it. And I never forget, like, game 4, we played I'll kick him home and play. And he was like, man, if I had, 22 Michael Johnson, we'll win a national championship. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if you had 22 Michael Johnson, why didn't you take me to media day? You see what I'm saying? Like, it was crazy how some of that worked. So I think some of what he did may have tainted a little bit of that. I think, but more importantly, I always was like, okay, I'm going to do my football. I'm going to finish out my career. What am I going to do next? I was done class 4 at 5th year. At the 5th year, there was one to pay for. So I finished out all my school, did all that stuff there. I just wanted to, I was like, you know what? I can go and try out. Ran a 4.97. That's good. Benched did 225, 32 times. So I had all the I had 29, which is not bad. I was 315. You know what I'm saying? So I had a resume. Yeah. So it was something like, well, does he want to play? And I was like, I'm not really sure. I had injuries. I was like, I'm not really sure. And I just was like, no. And I remember me and Gerard Douglas, running back, because Gerard came in with me. We used to play. I was our place. Yeah. John Madden all the time. And we sit down, and we both went freshman year through, started. And we like, man, you want to do it? He's like, man, Mike, I'm just done. And I was like, man, I'm just tired of football. He was number 1 running back in the nation, man, I remember. And he's like, I'm tired. And I was like, I'm just tired too. So it just happened. I'm not mad, because what truly took place, I really mean this, everybody has their story. So a lot of cats, they chase the dream, and they continue to chase the dream. They're set back. And this is no disrespect, but what skill sets do you really extract from chasing that football? You're just chasing money, because there's really not a skill set. Not a transferable skill set to business world.
So if you're out there on the field and you're playing, you don't think there's anything that you can extract from that whole experience? Because that's
not that. Because they pretty much got what they would have gotten out of football from that standpoint. They're hard workers, no doubt. They're resilient, no doubt. I'm not knocking them. Yeah, I'm not. They're resilient. They know how to fight through. They get up at 6 a.m., blood, sweat, and tears. They'll give you that. It might be hard working. I'm talking business world. I'm talking, how do I do this? Skill set with that computer, talking skills, all things of that nature, communication. How does that work? What does football provide for you then? How does that, you see what I'm saying? That's the business aspect that I'm talking about. Not so much that they're hardworking. Now, if you get one that had all that hard work, all that stuff, and that they're mentally strong, meaning what I mean by mentally strong, like they can comprehend, they're cerebral, they're a problem. Because they hard working and they cerebral, that's a problem. I want them all day long. Because they're going to get up, they're going to ride. When things get tough, they're not going to cry. They're going to keep going. And that's what you want. So, I don't want to say that, but I'm talking about the ones that just keep chasing that dream.
You want to say the ones who keep chasing a dream when the dream is obviously not there anymore.
Correct.
Okay, so those are the ones who that's a waste of time.
I think to them, a waste of time is whatever you consider it to be.
But yeah, you get no idea.
But you're right. But if you're not, so let's talk. So I've seen many of them. So for me, there were comparisons. So I jump out. I say, no, I'm not going to do it. Even though I had the opportunity, even though I had all that stuff that I could do. I said, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to get out here in the real world. So while they're chasing that for 3-4 years, I'm getting experience from Countrywide for 3-4 years. So 4 years later, I'm the branch manager of the new Frisco location at 26 years of age. You see, making 6 figures.
Okay.
You following me?
Yeah.
Now they're sitting out here chasing 6 figures. And then when they're done 4, 5, 6 years with all these injuries, at 26, I'm already off to Wells Fargo, then came to recruit me. Now I'm the branch manager of the Turtle Creek office. You see where I'm going? Now they still out here. So now are they on the same level as me?
No.
Not at all. So at that particular, no disrespect. So at that particular point, they're already 6 years behind me.
So it's a point of being honest with yourself of where you are. So but the dream for them, if there's a guy, say for instance, I'm a wide receiver and I'm trying to get in it, it's not working out, and you see it's not working out. So it's a reality check and say, hey, man, this ain't where you need to be. So instead of chasing it, do like you did. Come off the field, be real with yourself, go get a job, and start the next phase of your life.
And you know what I would tell them? I would say, not so much a job, a career. The same way you chased that damn football career.
Okay.
You see where I'm going with that? They chased that career.
Passion.
So I'm like, yeah, passionately. You have that same passion. But before you do, sit down there. Now, the difference is what I would do versus a lot. I'm going to sit them right there. And I've sat 8, 9 of them in that chair. Trust me. I swear to God. And in this chair. And I've sat down and we talked. And I'm chopping it up. What do you want to do? Or what do you like to do? A lot of that is connected to sports. And I said, that's okay. I said, have you ever thought about some other than that? Let's talk about things that you don't have to be blah, 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 but you can learn that. And I try to teach them, like, there's some different avenues out there, brother. And then, like everything else, you got to work at it. And you can get that skill set if you work at it. Get you a mentor. Get you somebody that's...
You mentor?
Absolutely. Okay. And I tell you, get your mentor. What's crazy about that mentor stuff? I tell everybody all the time. It's rare that a mentor tells you that. If you truly walked up to a person and you introduce yourself and kind of told them what you do, talking about elevator speech, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, or if you have a conversation or dinner with somebody that you know is prominent and can help you. If you sit down and you say, hey, listen, would you mentor me? Do you mind if I reach out to you maybe like quarterly, take you to breakfast?
It's so humbling. It's so humbling that you would take so much heat where you look at me and say, I can impact your life. Really? So it's almost like you take it as a gift, and it's like I've got to. It's a responsibility. So I've had some kids who've done that with me. I was like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll do it. I walk with it. I can't let them down. So when someone asks you, so for example, somebody has asked me to be their mentor. Little kids, it's like, okay. So it's a responsibility. It's a gift. It's a responsibility. You don't want to let them down.
Correct.
Okay. You saw something in me that I might not have saw myself, and I'm not going to let you down. Okay. So that's part of what you were saying. So if somebody comes up and asks you to be a mentor, you graciously accept that. And eventually it becomes more of a gift to you.
Absolutely.
Them. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So yeah. So I see
to be a blessing to others, man. We've been blessed. So to be a blessing to others, and that's my only ask of the Lord. It's like, hey, you've blessed me. Let me be a blessing to others. Now everybody not ready. Let me be clear. So I'm not about to waste my time. Let me be clear to the captains. I'm not about that. So, but if I see, so for instance, here's a follow-up to that. Tell a young man, hey, listen, find that mentor, shake his hand, ask him, be sincere, put your pride aside and ask. He's going to say, okay, and you say, hey, listen, do you mind if I reach back out to you maybe in the next 2 months? Let me buy you a cup of coffee. Yeah. He ain't going to let you buy him no coffee or dinner or steak dinner or nothing because you ain't got no money.
Right.
He does.
Yeah.
And he know you don't have no money. So he's going to sit down and he's going to say, what do you like to do? What do you enjoy? He might say, he knows, just like me, 50,000 people that can help you get down that path a lot faster. But if you put your pride aside, I always say, well, we pledge, pride hurts and never helps. And I see that. I say that even in my marriage. Pride hurts, Mike, it never helps. Because you think about it, it stops you from just saying, I'm sorry. I apologize, that's my fault. You know what I'm saying? It won't happen again. Type it simple and say, I'm sorry. It's so much easier. So I share that with you, like, that's the way to kind of get down the path faster.
Uh-huh.
And I tell them how to approach a mentor, how to continue the relationship. That's your responsibility. I already got by.
Yeah.
I tell shit, I'm good.
Okay. So They got to fuck with. Okay, so let's shift to wealth, black wealth. Okay, because a lot of times, as I told you, a lot of times, and I got a lot of brothers and sisters. So when my father passed, it's just like, okay, 7 of us divided equally by 7. No GoFundMe, nothing like that. We're fine. So with life insurance, okay, that's one of the biggest hurdles. That's what black people, we don't understand. That's part of the wealth building equation. What is the message, or what is that you wish that we understood more about insurance in general? Because there's a lot of those out there riding around, not just a lot of those out home insurance right now, insurance in general. So what is the message that you wish that the black community knew about the wealth building as it relates to insurance?
Great point. Here's the deal. And when you really do math, think about it. If you have a home, or if you have life insurance or a car, and I'm going to say this, insurance will pay you out more than you will pay. A roof claim, let's use it quick. Roof claim's $40,000. Your premium's $2,200 a year. So if you have one hailstorm come through and destroy that roof, that's $41,000 to replace it. You have $41,000? No.
They come to my house Monday.
You already see where I'm going. But it takes $2,000. 2,000 times 10 years is 20,000. Hello? You see where I'm going with that? So remember that. And they don't get it until I show it. So I say, hey, look what you paid in, what paid out. So think about it. So when it comes to something like life insurance, we used to do it very well. Let me be clear. There was a big time movement in the 40s, 50s, 60s because our grandparents, Big Mama, Granddaddy, all of them, Papa, all of them knew the fastest way to pass wealth is by a stroke of a pen, not by saving. Let me be clear. I'll say that again. The fastest way to pass wealth is by life. I'm going to sign off on this life insurance. Because where else are you going to get $500,000 come to the... My wife walks out the door, girlfriend, side chick, I don't care what it is. They walk out the door, $500,000 walks in it. Tax-free. Everything else is taxed. I'm going to say that one more time so I can. Everything else is taxed. Like I got money in the bank, taxed. Like I got this house, it's free and clear, taxed. Plus you got to pay the 6% realtor fees. I got this car, taxed. You see where I'm going with that? We don't think I got a 401k. That's tax times 10. And guess what? Guess who you're in bed with? The IRS. They control that. You don't control it.
Yeah.
They just said, we can push it up 5%. So the 5% you gain, guess what they just took? They took it away.
Yeah. So it catches up.
They're fast. So life insurance is the fastest way. So, and what's crazy about that is that we will sit in here and pay $19 a month to insure this damn thing. $19. And guess what? Got 3 kids. And guess how much theirs is?
Same.
$19.
Pay $100 a month
to insure a phone.
But you want to insure life?
Come on.
Yeah.
And then you want to ask me to contribute to your I wasn't prepared fund. I didn't give a damn fund.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go to the club fund. I need these red bottoms fund. I just, I don't believe in life insurance. It's a scam. No, what you're doing is a scam. It is, and I say that respect, because some folks don't have it, but I'll be darned.
Well, they have it. They have to. It's a matter of what you get as a choice. Because everybody I know has an insurance plan on the phone, because that phone, it's like you lose your phone, it's going to be a problem. Unless you got anything, so it's going to be a problem. So, cool. Tell me a little bit about family, your family, if you don't mind. I'm not probably too deep or anything like that. You got kids?
Yeah, my kids got 2 boys.
Okay.
I have a stepdaughter.
Okay.
Engaged.
She's engaged?
I was engaged.
Okay.
So I had a stepdaughter, and I got my fiance. So so I got 19, 17, 15.
Okay.
So girl, 2 boys.
Okay. What is the message that you try to communicate to them? Because I know if you're out there doing all this in the community, I know what you're doing in the house. So yeah, they need to tell me what you're doing in the house.
Like right now,
what kind of men are you raising?
Responsible.
Okay.
I would say responsible. I would say dedicated to what they need to do. I hold them responsible. Finish what you start. Right now, my oldest son, he's interning right now at my friend's law firm.
Yeah, how old is he?
He's 17.
He's already started.
He's intern.
Is he in high school?
But yeah, he's in high school. He'll be a senior next year. So he's intern. So got him out there. My youngest is 15 right now. He's just not doing anything. Sometimes I have him here. He's worked here also on the math. I'll get them doing that. But I get them around other people that can help sharpen them. Sometimes it's hard. They keep me tired of hearing dad. Like we were tired of hearing our dads and mom. So they might be a little bit more receptive to one of my buddies.
Tone deaf.
Yeah. That's saying the same message. Just coming from a different direction.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but it is what it is.
Human nature.
Yeah. So I really preach that. Handle your business, like I'll handle my business, but you make sure you handle yours. Your only job and responsibility is great. After that is treating people with respect and being respected. You know what I'm saying? Like meaning how you conduct and carry yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So, I that's really truly how I raised them to be. And they're doing a good job. They don't, they got their little issues like we all do. But overall, they're doing a good job.
Okay. Few more things. As it relates to your business and the model that you create, what keeps you going? What keeps you up at night? You have you're laying in a bed like this, looking at. So, what are you thinking? And I ask all of our interviewees like this because it's very revealing. It tells us a lot about where you're at and then the level of service that you want to provide to others. So you're sitting in bed like this, and what are you thinking as it relates to the business and how your customers are looking at it?
Well, with everything going up, I think like right now, it's about me getting back old school. So culture ingrained. It's about building a culture with my team. I'm a little bit more developed and established. And I got a lot of hands in some different pots and stuff. So when you're not as engaged, when I say engaged, meaning not as present, because it's kind of moving, doing what it's doing, it can kind of lose the culture.
Okay.
The brand could suffer a little bit because the leadership is not truly there.
So would you sacrifice some long term to make sure that you keep what you sustain? What I mean by that is just, okay, so example, got 5 guys always say, hey, Mike, I want you to invest in this. And you look long term and say, I go over there and start doing this. I'm going to lose pace on that. Yeah. I'm going to lose part of what this is going to slip because there's only 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So is that what you're saying? Is like, I want to keep I'll sacrifice the long term, the quick one to maintain what I got going over here.
Well, what I'm saying on that is that it takes balance.
Yeah.
And it takes organization and it takes a great team. It also takes me and this is something that I wasn't always really, really good at, is being extremely organized in my day, as far as being efficient. So once I can get my team up and running and we go back old school, right now, man, there's so much going on. One thing that I feel like what's happening in the world, especially in that business, is that the old school way of treating people has diminished. If I say I'm gonna call you back, call that me back. You understand what I'm saying? Like, handle your business.
Goes a long way.
People just want to know. They don't have time to get on the phone for 45 minutes. They got things to do. When you make it easy and simple culture for them to do business with you, when they see value in who you are, what you do, and how you take it, when the price goes up, and guess what it is for every company, they're going to say, I'm not leaving Mike. He takes great care of me. But if he don't, I'm out. If it's just price, I'm gone. So culture, brand, I'm trying, and for young people, I know it's difficult for them to grasp that. Because society doesn't tell them that.
Well, it's not fair. You have a different motive.
True.
Okay. So
and I got a little bit more tenure.
Yeah. So it's about ownership. So last thing. So what's next? I mean, I know you got the insurance. You got to do another branch, or what's next?
Yes. Oh wow. So State Farm came up with another, we call it more multiple opportunity. So I'm going to look into getting my second agency. You can get up to, they'll probably end up getting up to 5, because they're looking at it from a model that you've already done an excellent job in this one. So why wouldn't you do an excellent job in another, which we are, because we know what we're doing. So the next mission right now is definitely to open up a second one within the next 12 months, about 18 months. That's the mission. That's to go definitely finish out 2023 and keep this thing going. So, and that'll just give me an opportunity, man, to help more people. Get back to butts and chairs, man. Send out any of butts and chairs, virtual butts and chairs, whatever. You have to sell them. Just talking to people.
What else? Anything else you want to say? This is the opportunity, man. I'm build this up and make it.
Yeah, absolutely. I would just say, as far as like to kind of get back to the athletes, man, transitioning.
Okay.
Okay. My thing on that, when we're talking about, I'll look at it. I know first, second, third, fourth quarter. I'm just going to use football terminology. When you get into that fourth quarter first of all, it starts in the first quarter. It starts long before, but I'm talking about junior year, third quarter. Okay. Fourth quarter, be your senior year. When you get to that point, man, you have to start preparing for everything that can be thrown at you and start thinking outside of football. So it's okay. Chase the dream. I'm not mad at you. I meant to say some things earlier about they do it too. I'm not mad. Go try to do what you dream to do. But you better have a plan in place if that doesn't take place.
So plan B.
Yeah, a plan B has to be in place. And you have to be working on it just like plan A. So my point is when you're getting that junior year, utilize your alumni database. Use that Baylor Bear sign. Use that Cowboy sign on the side of your gate. Use that UT sign. I don't care what it doesn't matter. Use that. Reach out to these alumni other than football and say, hey, listen, so what do you do? I would love to come out and maybe come out and see the office. Do you mind? Those are the things that's going to put you in place.
So let me ask you this, though, man. If you're working on plan B, does that mean you don't believe in plan A?
No, not at all. That's a fool's tale. You can be working on two things at one time.
Okay.
I mean, matter of fact, we do it all the time in life. We just haven't mastered it. But if you got to think about it. Because if that is what we all your eggs in one basket. Well, when you drop the basket, it's a wrap. And when we talk about sports, you just MCL away. You see what I'm saying? You can get a blown out, whatever. It's a wrap. It's all about how well your body, only as good as your body type deal. So we want to use something other than, there's going to come a time just like for all of us. I don't care who you are. Michael Jordan ain't playing no damn basketball anymore. He out there running businesses and making money and doing this right here. Well, that's Jason. Yeah, well, I know that, but let him tell it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to tell. But he inside. Yeah, that's Jason. So I just share that, like, y'all work on that. Reach out. There's some programs at a lot of schools, like at Baylor, we would help them with their resumes. Write them. Mm-hmm. We would help them with their interview skills. Mm-hmm. Do that. If you're too prideful because you the bomb, you a fool.
So I guess sometimes, man, athletes come in and they don't see the whole picture. They don't see the
nobody keeps it real.
They don't see the whole spectrum of opportunity. And that's something that you did from the South Side. You saw Baylor as not only a football opportunity, but an opportunity to develop as a total person. And you took advantage of it. But where most people don't, where the guys who had all the bomb, they didn't take their full advantage of the opportunity that was presented for them. They only saw the athletic portion. They didn't see what the doors that were opening up.
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So they didn't leverage all the doors.
They did not leverage all the doors. Even all the doors they had, that was there for them to utilize. So when the coaches was like, hey, and I remember when they did it to me, hey, they're going to be having a education program over at the blah, 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 at the hall, and study hall or whatever. They're going to have some people over there talking about business, how to write resumes. They told. And all them fools sitting there doing all this, worried about where they're going to go next. And I get it. You just got out of practice just like I did. You know what I'm saying? You might be a little bit tired. But those are the moments that, truth be told, coaches say it's mandatory. It's mandatory for them to come at 6 a.m. and do them damn agilities. But they don't make that mandatory. You see what I'm saying? Make that mandatory so they got to be present. And now when they're present, you ain't going to get them all. But it might be an extra 10%, 15% that catch something. I remember Jalen Petrie, safety. So me and JP, we're friends today. We talk about, I text him, we cool. So JP, man, when he said, I said, I'll talk to him. I kept it real. He was like, hey, man, I had a whole surrounding the athletes. And it was like, man, that State Farm. I said, yeah. I said, think about it.
I remember, Joe.
I said, think about it. I said, I build this thing up. It's residual. We always talk about multiple streams of income. What I got there, 600 of them. I said, yeah. I said, so we're talking. I said, so you see what I'm saying? I said, so I told them that. I said, so build stuff correctly, the right way. Take care of people. Do your job. I said, he was like, man, Mike, I want to hear more about that agency thing. So we started chopping it up. Now, granted, he went in the second round, Man, he down there balling. You see what I'm saying? Houston? Yeah, he Houston.
Yeah.
Down there balling, doing his thing. And I mess with him. I text him. I say, hey, man, you know that I said after about 7, 8 years, we're going to get you out here. You got the name, you got everything. Make your name.
Now's the time, though. You need to stop playing now.
And I'm talking, it's plain to see. But but let me go back to what I said. This is it. He's the best player on the team. Yet he sat back and he stopped what he was doing. And he sat down and he had a conversation with somebody. And I talked to him. And we exchanged numbers and we started just chopping it up. And he got a lifeline to me right now. I have a lifeline to him if I want to go watch the game. You know what I'm saying? I watch him. Look, he was on my damn fantasy football team. As a DB, he was doing me all right. So, because he know they wasn't tackling nobody, he was.
Interesting.
About 13 tackles.
He just never good when your DB's got in
your safety making all the time.
Yeah, that's like across the last one.
Yeah, so
I'm not about to do it to Mr. Tackle.
Yeah, but I just share that meaning, like, don't be so prideful and think we got to be smart in that. Either that or I see you back at your mama's basement. Hey, I'm just getting real talk. Well, I've seen a ton of them, or they go right back to the house because that NIL deal, let's be clear, that's not reality. So they might, let me talk to this guy, they might give you $120,000 a year as a freshman and you ain't done nothing but play football. And you think that's, because you was in the top 3 on ESPN, and I'm not hating because I was in the top 100 ESPN, let me be clear. That being said, but the reality is that 115 times 4, that's $460,000 that you earned in 4 years. When you get done and you can't play ball no more, you step out into the real, you be lucky to get 60,000. And that's facts.
Yeah.
You don't have a skill set. You might get 40. Facts. And I'm just being hating. That's the reality. So my thing is that you better get prepared because that is not the actual how this world works. And that in the true talk, how much how much hourly wage is? It might be $15 an hour. It might even make more than that, but I'm just simply saying, that's not the reality of what's going on out here, man. So I don't want y'all to continue to get to that point and not be prepared. That's your message.
Prepare.
Yeah.
That's what you did.
There.
That's how you got it.
Get in the huddle, listen to the play, execute it.
What that takes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Get in the huddle, listen, execute. And then when we execute, whose responsibility are you responsible for? Yours. Yeah. And that's it.
Yeah, right.
We good?
Yeah.